Hey everybody, this is Colton with POSGuys.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at the MUnite line of POS tablet mounts and stands from Star Micronics. Now, Star Micronics is of course known for their printers and cash drawers, but they also make a pretty nice line of stands as well. So what we're going to go ahead and do today is kind of just take a tour of the product offering, take a look at some of the options, play around with them, show you what I like, and at the end kind of give a overall opinion of each of the different options that they have available. So with that, I'm gonna get us zoomed in here and let's get started. Okay, we're zoomed in here now, and I thought the best place to start this video was gonna be to talk about the actual enclosures themselves, because that's kind of at the heart of every configuration that the MUnite series has. You're gonna have two main types of mounting solutions. You're gonna have this sort of a universal claw design that kind of has these little brackets to come in and out to clamp on the unit. And you're also going to have a full enclosed solution. And I don't have any of those handy, but I'll throw some photos off the screen now so you can sort of see what they have. But those full wraparound solutions are built to handle most common tablets on the market. So, you're gonna get your Surface Pros, there's some iPads, like 10.2, the iPad Pros, iPad Minis, then some Galaxy Tab options. So if you want a full wraparound solution, that's an option. But what I find most handy are these little universal clamps. They're definitely a little cheaper overall, and most of them are going to be able to take any tablet up to 12.5 inches diagonally, and that's because of the little design that they have here. So as you see, on both the iPad and on this model, you kind of have these little security screws that have this very proprietary Allen key. I forget what the exact name is, but essentially, you can pop those on there, and then all you need to do is untighten these, and that allows you to sort of pull out the actual mounts. This one, that side. Oh, there we go. And you can pop it out that way, and you can throw it in the same way. Or if it's mounted to a solution, you also have a little top key here that you just kind of slip that into the bottom, or to the top rather. Do that, and then it flips open, and you can go out, in and out, and then the little button kind of pops out there, just like any other standard key like this, and you can pop it in, and it stays secure like that. So that's the general overview of that. This is super solid metal. I was honestly really surprised by the build quality on these. I know sometimes, manufacturers will skimp out a little bit and use really cheap material, but this is really nice, and it feels super premium. It's definitely weightier. And there's this little felt backing on the back here, so that you're not going to scratch up the back of your devices. So that's kind of at the heart of every installation. They're going to come with the little there's two little screws here in the middle that's kind of used to work with the MUnite line of stands. But you also have a VISA 75 and a VISA 100 as well here, so that you could also use this with more generic mounts or just anything on the market really. So that is the overview of these. Like I said, you could do something like an iPad, and it also works with a lot of the mobile tablets that we sell. So if you wanted to use this in a point of sale type setup and wanted something with a barcode scanner integrated in, you'll be able to accommodate that. This is a Zebra ET45, but like I said, it'll work with just about any tablet that we sell. So that's the M enclosure. What I'll probably do from now on, or what I'm going to do later, is I'm going to go pull this video ahead. We're going to go and start to take a look at some of the mounting options that you'll have to kind of set this with. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at some of the stand options that are available. So the first one is going to be the Mount 7, which is this little guy right here. Basically just a little base with a little VISA stand connector here, and then a little adjustable swivel mechanism there. So, essentially the idea would be that you use some of the screws that it comes with right here, or the little M sticky pads here, and you can just mount that directly to the counter with whatever way you prefer. There's a little cup here as well that can help with that, and just permanently affix it to the desk. So the Mount 7, which I have here, is 9.7 inches tall from the base, so from here to the top. The Mount 18 is almost identical, except for it is 17.2 inches tall. I'm not sure where 12 came from. This is going to have a 9-pound carrying capacity on this. The Mount 18 version is going to have an 11-pound capacity. So either of those could be bolted, adhesive, or clamped to the table. I'll throw a photo up right now of the clamp accessory. And then what's really cool about this is that there's a hollow center here, so you can run cables and wires together. And of course, if you're mounting it to a table, you're probably drilling a little hole, so you can just affix it there, and you have a no cable setup. There is a tri-mount version of this as well that kind of has 3 of these little guys. I don't have a physical product, so I'll go ahead and throw a photo up. But it works very similar to this. The mounting mechanism, you would either use the M enclosure, either the universal or not, and just kind of fix it there to the back. And of course, it's a VESA 75 and 100, so if you already have a case that you prefer to use, you could use that interchangeably with any of these products. The tri-mount version is going to be able to support monitors from 10 inches all the way up to 32 inches wide, and it's going to have a carrying capacity of about 11 pounds for each one of those. So that's another option. Those are going to be really popular if you're using like an online ordering system. So if you're a restaurant and you need to have different tablets for Grubhub, and Uber Eats and whatnot, those are really handy. These guys are good for that as well if you're only using a single tablet setup. But could also be used for point-of-sale setups if you really wanted to, or they're good for like self-check-in kiosks, that sort of thing. So, I've seen some doctor's offices and stuff use these. So, just a very simple stand, gets the job done. There is also a wall mount version that's basically this, but with a little flexible backing. I'll throw a photo of that as well. Again, sorry, I don't have my hands on that quite right now. But the video, or the photo rather, should give you a pretty good idea of what we're working with. And that's going to be about 4 inches wide by 2 inches deep. So you're going to be off the wall about 2 inches with that. So that wraps up the proper pole mount setups. So what I'm probably going to do now is I'm going to clear off this table, and I'm going to pull together some of the more point of sale desktop focused applications. So zoom the video on over and let's get started on that. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the desktop stand options that are available, because Star definitely has quite a few of these. So I have 2 physically in person, so I'll go over these first, and then I'll throw up some photos of the ones that I don't have access to at the moment. The first one is going to be the EZ100, this little guy right here, and I apologize for the glare going on in this. Feel free to ignore that. So this is a really cool device. I kind of like it because you have of course the mount right here. But then you also have a little tray to throw in the receipt printer, so that when you sort of flip it around for the end user, everything is kind of wrapped up into this one device. So of course, it's going to be a VESA 75, VESA 100, kind of the same setup as all the rest of them. It is built to be used with the TSP 100, TSP 650, and the TSP 700 series of printers. Same thing. That they kind of focused on with some of the other models is cable management. So of course you're going to have all this space here for that. And then in the bottom here are some holes. You can probably see them right there. So if you really wanted to mount this thing to the desk so it couldn't move, that's certainly going to be an option for you. But I actually really like this design. I think of all of them, it's probably one of my favorites. You're going to have obviously the proper mount here, but then on the back there is a little add-on thing right here. You might be able to see it, kind of sticks out a bit. And you can use that for a second monitor if you'd like. So if you wanted a customer-facing display, you could throw on another iPad here, or an ELO monitor or something like that, so long as it's VESA 75 or 100. And then you'll be able to route that through the back and kind of have all the cable management rolling right here. So this particular unit is going to be 10 inches deep this way, 13 inches tall. So from here to here, of course, the screen is going to stick out a little bit more, and then 6 inches wide. So if you're looking for something where you need to be really efficient with your counter space, you don't have a ton of space and you can't have your accessories lying all over the place, this is going to be a really nice option. And if you pair the tablet with something like I said, the ET45 that has the integrated scanner, you could pretty much get your entire point of sale system to fit in this one little device, outside of a payment device reader or something like that. But you could even use this little thing here for the payment device, or if you have a MSR, you can smack it on and be up in the races. So again, I think this is a really cool unit, very space efficient. So with that out of the way, I'll slide that over, and let's take a look at this option here. This is the EZ POS. You can see the E and the Z kind of playing a repeat role here. So with this, of course, you're basically going to have the tablet mount, same as all the others. This is going to have a standard two screw configuration though, so it's not going to have the use of the Visa 75 or 100. Flips like this. And then the inside of this little bar is hollow. So, if you have charging cords and whatnot, you could run those all the way through and drill a hole in the counter if you really wanted to, and run it through that way. And then there is a little plate right here. That's just kind of, provides some additional stability. This is a very weighty device, so it's not going to move around a ton. Obviously, if you're yanking on it, it's going to do that. And then, of course, you have the receipt printer here that kind of just sits on there. I would have liked to have seen some sort of option where this could be mounted to the table, or at the very least have the printer actually attach to the metal plate in some sort. But I understand, there are other models that would do that if the security is a big concern for you. But overall, it's going to weigh, it's going to weigh 5 pounds. So, definitely a lot of weight there, plus the printer and everything else. And this is going to come in at about 11 inches wide, 7 inches deep, and about 8 inches tall from the base to here. So another option for you. I really like this as well. The name, Easy, it's an easy point of sale stand. And the nice thing about this is that unlike this particular device, where, you kind of have to work within some sizing requirements, this is going to be very universal. So you can just kind of set whatever you want. I guess would probably be facing that way, so the receipt comes out that way. And yeah, again, a very easy, slick stand. Everything's sort of integrated, very efficient from a space standpoint. So I'll briefly go over some of the other versions. They're all going to kind of be similar. There is the MUnite POS, which I'll throw up right here, and that can be used with the TSB 100 or TSB 650 lines of printers. Very similar, very similar to this in a lot of ways. You're going to have the base that kind of stands out with a little base plate. A pole with the base plate rather, then a little mounting option. You're also going to have the MUnite 3 POS. So very similar to the POS, except for it's specifically built for their MC3 print line of printers. And it's going to have like a little cubby essentially to tuck the printer in. And then there's also the MUnite Pop. So that is going to essentially work with their their M-Pop line of drawers, which have the integrated receipt printer built in. So again, another way to very efficiently use space. And all of these are kind of built from the same high-grade metal. So it's very nice overall. So yeah, one note with the MUnite Pop is that it doesn't necessarily need to be used with the M-Pop. You could use any cash drawer. So if you have like a CD3 or a CD4, those are both going to work as well. So another option, in case you have one of those hanging around and would really like to utilize them a little bit better. So with the desktop line out of the way, let's wrap it off by talking about the third and final series that they have here, and those are going to be the Kiosk Stands. So what I have here in front of me is the Easy Desk Kiosk. As the name implies, you're going to want to use this on a desk. And it's a pretty simple setup, all things considered. So you're going to kind of have the L-shaped design here, same solid piece of metal build, and then it has the two little screw holes at the bottom to connect with the enclosure designs. So this is really suited for any situation where you're going to need to, one, you could either just set it as a normal kiosk, or if you have an associate that needs to enter in some information and then flip it over to a customer for signature, that's a really good application for this, and it was kind of built with that in mind. You have the little screw holes at the bottom here, which you can kind of see right there. So you're going to be able to screw this to a desk and make sure no one goes running off with your tablet. Size-wise, this is going to be about 5.9 inches wide, 8.7 inches long, and 7.2 inches high. So, from here to about there. So overall, just a very nice, simple stand, really rugged, and it's going to get the job done when you really need it. So for this next one, I'm going to cut to some B-roll. We're going to be taking a look at the MUnite 4 Kiosk Stand. And this is a pretty standard floor stand. Very, very sturdy though. It's weighing in at about 18.7 pounds. And most of that is going to be in the base. So I've tried, knocking this thing around, and it's pretty darn stable, all things considered. Height-wise, it's about, caps out at about 46 inches high. And then the base is going to be 22 inches by 18 inches. So, just very sturdy. You're going to be able to move it around and pick it up, but it's definitely going to take some effort, but you're definitely not going to have to worry about people, bumping into it and having the whole thing collapse. And of course, you're going to have a 7500 millimeter VISA for just about any application. And then finally, rounding off the line is going to be the MUnite printer shelf. This is more of an accessory than an actual standalone product. But of course, you're going to be able to mount this to the Kiosk floor stand, the Mount 18, or that tri-mount that I was talking about at the start of the video. And basically, it just allows you the option to add a printer to a Kiosk setup. So that's going to be compatible with their TSP 100 and 104 lines, the 650 line, the MC Print 3, and the MC Print 2. So if you have a Star printer, more than likely it falls into that category and you'll be able to run this printer shelf with it. And with that, that's going to wrap up this tour of the MUnite line of tablets and mounts. Overall, I really like the line. There are a ton of options for just about any use case and style preference. So you should be able to find something that you like that will fit your particular use case. I appreciate that Star's definitely invested in the build quality on these. You can just tell it's made from, very thick, weighty material. The mounting options are pretty well thought out. And overall, it's clear that they invested, in a rugged product. And I can't say that for every tablet stand manufacturer out there. So you got to give kudos to Star for that. But yeah, overall, they're no frills, no fancy bell and whistle type of thing. But you know what? They're going to work. And you're going to buy it once, and you're probably never going to need to replace it. So that's certainly something to say about that. But with that, that is going to wrap up the video. If you have any questions or are interested in picking up one of these products for yourself, feel free to visit our website, give us a call, an email. All of those are on the screen now. And yeah, thank you so much for your time, and look forward to chatting with you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.